Hello and welcome to Hump Day Bar Hopping. I'm your host, Sarah Fletcher, and today we're going to be talking about returns. Now, returns are the vampires of the product world. They drain your time and money. Most online merchants who are not focused on discounting will choose a markup rate between 50 and 75%. Stores with a higher markup may also be offering low cost or free shipping, and they have to overcome that. These markup rates may seem high, but not all of that is actually profit. Even if you don't have a brick and mortar store, you have to pay for your site, you have to pay for marketing, you have to pay for inventory, you have to pay for staff, the product itself, and you have to cover the cost of free shipping if it's offered. Those pop-ups that give 25% off when you sign up, you get the name, but you're giving up a lot of margin. When a product is returned, you also have to pay for the customer service staff to take the return, and the inventory staff to process the return, and if possible, get it back into inventory. If the item can't be resold, it must be returned to the manufacturer, which may have additional shipping costs or discounts, and if it's not in new condition, it may have to be severely discounted or completely written off. Ouch. Here's another nugget of naughty to chew on. 30% of items purchased online are returned. That's rough. In order to keep returns from draining you dry, the first thing you need to identify is which items are the worst offenders. Shopify does have a report that lists all the items that were returned, and you can export it as a CSV file, import it into Excel, and then sort through the worst offenders. If you have Styliquin, you can see the top 10 most returned items in the Insights panel in the Styliquin admin. I'll give you a quick tour to show you where that is at the end of the video. Staying on top of returns by checking each week or at the very least each month can save you time and money. Make sure your return form asks why the product is being returned. I know that seems super basic, but really think about are you getting as much information as possible? The more you get about why they're returning it, the more likely you are to be able to figure out what's wrong and fix it, if it can be fixed. Let's say you have a clothing item that's at the top of the list, and as long as it isn't the bestseller, and if you have a runaway bestseller that's selling gazillion things, you're going to have some returns. That's just the way it is. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on that one. Take the product that's not working, pause it, figure out what the problem is, and if it's fixable. If the product has a flaw, talk to the manufacturer. Don't sell bad or deceptive products. It will destroy your brand over time. Sometimes the problem isn't the product itself. It's the positioning, the presentation, or the copy. So here's what you do. You look at it and you go, is the product picture showing the product the way it actually is? Sometimes they'll put things in products that make them look much bigger than they are or smaller than they are. And people get them and they're like, oh, hell no. So look at that. Then look at the specifications. Are they accurate? Or are they just missing? So many times I personally have wanted to buy something, but I don't know how tall it is or if it'll fit in the space or what it's made of. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time digging or calling to find out unless it's the only one in the world and it's kind of magical and I have to have it, which very, very rarely happens. In fact, I don't think it's ever happened. Anyway, so look at all those things. Is the color accurate? Sometimes if you're doing your own photography, green can be particularly problematic. They're just stuff. You just got to look and say, is it right? We call this something isn't right for a reason, because something isn't right. And you just need to figure out what that thing is. If it isn't anything obvious and you're like, I don't get it, then take the product, get your friends, your staff, and literally say, I want you to go onto my store and I want you to buy a insert name of item. And when they do that, then show them the actual product. And if they go, wow, I would not be happy if I got that, you can get more information about why that is. So it's kind of basic, but honest to God, it works. Anyway, that's returned items. And now I'm going to take you over to the Styliquin site. If you haven't seen Styliquin, it actually is kind of magical. And I'll give you a quick tour, but then I'm going to show you the Insights panel where you can get that information and a lot more very, very useful information inside of Styliquin. All right, let's go. So Styliquin is the green bar over here. And by the way, you can add Styliquin in about 4 clicks to any Shopify site. And
you can change the color of the bar to match your website. You can completely brand it. We're going to go over to women's, and then we're going to drag a product onto the Styloquin bar. What? And that's where you get this fabulous full page layout. And you don't have to do anything. This happens automatically. It's going to take all the images in your Shopify carousel, and it's going to turn it into this beautiful, beautiful layout. So if you like something, you're going to add it to your idea board. And these are all the things that I just threw on there so you wouldn't have to watch me do a whole bunch of shopping. And Styloquin allows shoppers to collect all the things that interested them. Like, they're not ready to buy, but they're like, yeah, that's cool. I like it. You know, if you've ever watched a woman shop, she has 17 open tabs. And by the way, the comment I get from most men is, I would totally shop that way. But I invented it for women. Anyway, so if you want to add something to your cart, you just drop it into your cart from Styloquin. If you want to take it out of your cart, you take it out of the cart. You can move things around. You can change colors. You can change sizes. It gives you total control over, it's like a pre-cart. You know, it's a persistent pre-cart. Styloquin makes shopping faster and more fun, so shoppers will look at about 185% more products when they use Styloquin, and they'll spend about 70% more time on site. Great stats, right?
So here we are over at Mood Indigo in the admin section in the Styloquin app. And if you go over a few, you see Insights. Click on that. And then you can choose a date range. And it doesn't matter. I'm just going to click all time. Now this is a demo site. Obviously, we don't actually sell anything. We just pretend to sell stuff. And we've covered this in other Hump Day bar hoppings, but we have bestsellers. And normally there would be 10 with a view more at the bottom. We have shiny objects, which are the most dragged products. It's something you can only see with Styloquin. And So Close, which are frequently considered but not added to the cart, which shows intent and interest. Very, very good stuff there too. Abandon, the saddest of all product states, where things were added to the cart but not actually purchased. And then at the bottom we have what we're talking about today, which is Something Isn't Right, which are our most refunded products. And over on the right-hand side, you'll see basically everything that we just talked about. So if you don't have to take notes, and if you've forgotten, it's right there to help you out. So that's the Insights panel, and it really does make dialing in your products much, much easier. It's just a one-stop shopping there for all the info you need to really get things going. Thanks for watching. On next week's Hump Day Bar Hopping, we'll be talking about how to dial in the SEO in your product copy. So I hope you'll join me for that. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.